I'm Jane Hodson. I'm the EAE and AB Suite MCP Runtime Technical Lead at Unisys. In this video, I'll be providing a brief description of the features from AB Suite 7.0 for MCP Runtime. AB Suite 7.0 comes with many new features for MCP Runtime. Our main focus has been on the security of customer data, an important consideration in today's world. We have included support for storing binary large objects in your DMS2 database, and a number of new features have been implemented with AB Suite 7.0. Most of the security features that have been implemented for MCP Runtime are related to persistent data. The sensitive data option provides security for persistent data when it is deleted. When you use the sensitive data option, the sensitive data file attribute is set on database files. So when a record is deleted from a database file, the disk area previously occupied by the record is scrubbed before being returned to the system for reallocation. When used in conjunction with log access DM verbs can be used to specify which DM verbs are logged. If you specify store and delete in the log access DM verbs list, any execution of the store and delete verbs will be logged in the system sumlog. This provides granular logging for DM verbs for nominated database structures. Any execution of the selected DM verbs against the nominated structures will be captured to the system sumlog and be available for auditing purposes. DMS2 introduced field-level encryption in MCP 18. AB Suite 7.0 supports DMS2 field-level encryption so that you can encrypt your persistent data. Use AES-GM or AES-HMAC as the encryption algorithm. Although encryption is enabled at the class level, persistent attributes are secured individually. However, some restrictions apply. For example, you cannot encrypt keys, key data, or single byte attributes. When the DMS2 audit encrypt and compressed options are included in the audit trail specification, they provide encryption and compression of the audit trail as the file is copied to tape. You can include these options in the audit trail specification for your AB Suite application database by entering the details in the user-defined copy audit details property. An example of the syntax that you need to use is documented in the developer user guide under copy audit to tape. If you use secure rattle, the database packet sent to and from the client via rattle will be secured using TLS 1.2. For those who wish to store files in their DMS2 database, AB Suite 7.0 supports the DMS2 internal blob. The DMS2 internal blobs feature supports the storage and retrieval of large objects in the user's database. These include MP4 files, Word documents, and MCP native files. The internal blob has been implemented as a persistent binary attribute. To support internal blobs, the existing external blob implementation has been revised. The external blob has two new methods which allow for storing and retrieving files from an internal blob. The read method persists a file's contents into the database as a blob, and the write method retrieves the blob as a file with the appropriate file attributes. The internal and external blob types are closely coupled. 5 new feature suggestions have been implemented with AB Suite 7.0. Here's a description of the main ones. The Resource Constraints feature allows you to monitor and manage your online transaction resource consumption. For example, you can specify limits on processor consumption or database reads for an iSpec. If the limit is breached for a transaction, glib.status will be set to 5 stars as the default reaction. However, you should define the appropriate interrupt procedures, such as int main, to tailor the reaction for the situation. For example, you may wish to abort the transaction or perform some other specific processing. Unless an abort is executed, the cycle processing will resume from the point at which it was interrupted, after the current resource counts have been reset. For some, It would be better if reports did not restart after a failure. You can now suppress the automatic restart of a report after a failure and resolve the issue before rerunning the report manually. In your iSpec methods, you can write logic to detect when the current transaction is a replay of an earlier aborted transaction and take appropriate action. This may be helpful in situations where the transaction is with an external application. AB Suite 7.0 comes with vital new features for MCP Runtime. The security of customer data is essential today. AB Suite 7.0 provides that by allowing you to encrypt persistent data, completely removing it on deletion or monitoring access. Consider the possibilities with the ability to store your files as internal blobs in your DMS2 database. Manage your online resources better with the new features from AB Suite 7.0. Thank you for taking the time to view this video.